Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're sitting down for a chat because I figured before I go start planting my fall garden and getting everything ready for the fall, I should kind of plan out what I'm going to put into the fall. So I pulled out everything I might want to plant, what I would like to plant. So we're going to talk about them. But first, before we talk about all the seeds, let's talk about time frame. So I have my little cheat sheet note here. So what I do in the fall is I pick usually a date, whenever it is I decide, okay, fall garden, I'm ready. I look up that date and then I go to Google and I put in first frost and my zip code or the zip code to like a big city near you. And I just find the projected zip code, and that's based off, past years and all that. And then, because I'm lazy, go in Google and I put the day I've picked to the day of the first frost, and I say how many days until, and I get a number. I don't have to cook. I don't have to count anything. So I have 130 days between today and our projected first freeze. So our projected first freeze is November 25th. It's right around Thanksgiving. It's usually when it is for us every year. Some years I've had it where it is around Thanksgiving. Sometimes it's middle of December, and we've had first frost sometimes all the way into January. So I know 130 days might sound like a lot of time for some people, but we also pay for the long growing season with our weather. So pretty soon, hurricane season is really gonna ramp up. It's pretty bad. I could say the worst of it usually comes the end of August, September, and October. And so hurricane season starts in June, goes all the way until November. The first half usually isn't as bad as the second half. So weather can be crazy here soon, but also right now we are going through incredibly hot heat. Basically, my tomatoes are just done. It gets too hot for them to even produce. If they produce, they're not good. We get so hot that the blooms fall off a lot of plants. Right now I'm having pretty good luck for my plants to get morning sun only and not afternoon sun. It's not going to be this year because I don't have all the things set up, and by the time I get things set up, it's probably gonna be too late. But next year I wanna see about putting maybe some shade cloth over my tomatoes or where I want to plant my tomatoes, just to see if maybe that is a better spot for me. I don't know. And it's just one of those, like I'm struggling with it this year. So that is one of my plans for next year, maybe utilizing some of the shade cloth we have for summer. That is not in my horizon right now. So what I am doing for now is, so I am done basically growing tomatoes for now. I do have a few I'm gonna keep on hand that I will kind of limp along, because once we hit probably September, they will start producing again. And then maybe I can get some by then. What tomatoes I have picked, harvested, and are fully ripe are all in a freezer bag in the freezer. And sometime this fall, we'll get around to making tomato sauce. We don't need it right now. Last year I preserved a lot of tomatoes, so I'm not hurting for it, so I'm not racing to do it quite yet. But I will do it here eventually. So let's talk about what I'm going to plant, and I'll kind of talk about why for my different seeds as we go along. First up, I know for sure I am going to plant more beans. Beans are one thing I like because they can help fix the nitrogen in the soil, as well as we are a big green bean family. So I have a pack of, which one are these? Kentucky pole beans and rattlesnake beans. These are both a climbing variety. So I am going to put them on the backs of my trellises. I have one where my tomatoes are. To finish putting the trellis up where all my garlic was. So those are gonna go there. And on one of my big arches, I planted, the plants just ended up not doing very good. So I'm gonna pull those off and I'm gonna stick some pole beans of one of these variety, just because those will be very quick climbers, and then I can get some beans off of that. I'm also going to plant some Blue Lake snap beans in my green stalks. My green stalks this time of year take such a big hit, and it's always kind of sad because this time of year I see so many people who have green stalks and they are just gorgeous, and mine aren't. It's just the first half of our season is done. I need to fill some up with like some compost and things like that and make them happy, and then I'm gonna fill in spots with green beans, just basic snap beans. Okay. I do want to plant carrots at one point. Planting carrots isn't something until the fall. So August, September-ish, I plant carrots. I have a few different varieties. I have Scarlet Nantes, Danvers Half Long. This is a Kaleidoscope pack, and then Shantae Red. I don't know. So I have a few I want to try. I can't grow enough carrots to sustain us for the year, but I can grow some. So I try to grow some if I can. I guess while we're talking about roots, let's grab these. All right, so a couple cold hardy things I am going to start from seed will be, cabbage and broccoli. So I am gonna try to grow a couple different green cabbages and broccoli. So this is the Waltham 29. And then I have Golden Acre and Copenhagen Market. Both of these are early varieties, and I wanna try these this year because I want to see if they will grow faster, just because we have a long time till we can grow. Sometimes, you know, we will get a random really hard frost. So I'm curious, on this seed packet, it says September through February we can grow, which is pretty accurate for us. By the time March comes, we start getting warm, and then by April, we are usually almost too warm for cabbage and broccoli. A lot of it starts bolting. There are some varieties that I know grow a little bit better in the heat. I'm just trying to be good and use up some seeds. So I want to try those. So one thing I am going to be planting fairly soon is some cucumbers. So here are 3 cucumber seeds that I want to try. So this is a Garden Sweet Burpless Hybrid. I just have a few seeds left, so I want to finish up this pack. I have some straight 8 cucumbers, and then these are muncher cucumbers. These ones are from the dollar store or like Dollar General, and I've actually had really good success with these seeds. So I just want to give these a try. Cucumbers will get bitter here when it gets too hot. So they need to either grow, like I have to get them in first thing in the spring for them to grow before the heat, or I have to plant them in the fall when it is not too hot. And because I had my hip replacement, I didn't get cucumbers in fast enough. So they've just been so piddly, very, very piddly. But it's okay, I have the fall, and I have a local farm to grow from. I can get them from in the meantime. So one thing I do have to wait till the weather change is for lettuce and kale. Same thing I've been saying, can't grow them in the heat, I have to wait till it's cold. So I'm gonna grow, this one is blue curled, dwarf blue curled kale, kind of a mouthful. And then for lettuce, I have some butter crunch lettuce, I have, and then mixed lettuce. I realized both of these were from Greenstock purchases. And then some black seeded Simpson. This seems to go really well for us. So some of those. I also have some rutabaga, kohlrabi, and then I have 2 types of radishes. So these are the Manitong, the watermelon radish I want to try, and this blend. So another one of the what is this brand? American Seed. And so since I've had good luck with that brand, I want to try it again. These I'm gonna have to wait. Radishes, I definitely have to wait till it's a little cooler. They grow super fast, like super fast. The watermelon ones do say 65 days to maturity, but this gourmet blend says 23 to 30 days. So they can grow super fast, but we get so hot that they will bolt really quickly. And then these, I will just give it a little bit and then plant them. Sometimes I will plant things a little closer together too for more of a ground cover, depending upon the year. And I have some seeds that I have gotten from a local farm store like this. And there's a lot in here. Broccoli this one has less, but this rutabaga, so much. So I will pick something to grow, and then I'll kind of do a chop and drop, and then it will add some nutrients back to the soil. So might do that with rutabaga, we will see. I do also have flower seeds because we do have such a long time. I can grow a whole bunch of flowers. So I have some sunflowers, these giant zinnias. They are so pretty. I have some zinnias here that are actually on their last leg, but my daughter and I love to pick them. And then we save the seeds from the zinnias we pick, and I sprinkle them as well. These are evening sun sunflowers, border mixed colors. This one is my Mexican torch sunflowers. I get these to sprout, and then the heat always does something, or the weather does something, and they never grow. So I'm on, like, I really want them to grow. I also have these wildflower seeds. I don't know how well they will grow. Cut and come again, not sunflowers, zinnias. These just grow amazingly. And these are seeds from my friend who grew them locally last year. I believe these are black-eyed Susans, so I want to get these planted as well. I have so many piles of seeds going on. Another thing I want to plant is, oh, here's another one. This is baby's breath. I want to try that. I don't know if it'll be a fall or it might be something in the spring. I do want to plant some squash. So I have this just yellow summer squash, and then I have two types of zucchini. One is just a Ford hook zucchini, and then one is a gray zucchini. So these three, your typical ones. They seem to, zucchini seems to grow better for me in the fall than the spring because of our bug pressure. We have such crazy bugs in the peak of summer. We have bugs called leaf-footed bugs, and they are just frustrating, and they will kill a plant like my tomatoes and stuff. But for my squash, we get really bad vine borers versus squash bugs that I know so many people talk about. The squash bugs, mine are vine borers, so they kill them easy. So I'm hoping this fall will be the fall zucchini does the best, and it usually does. Last year I didn't really do much of a fall garden because I was hurting so bad, so I quit. But my last group of seeds to talk about is squash, winter squash, pumpkins, whatever you want to call it. I'm doing just pumpkins this year. So I have these sugar pie pumpkins, just your basic little ones. They say they take 90 days to harvest, so I want to try them. They say from March to June, but that type of weather will be here soon, so I'm going to try them again. I also have these Kershaw green striped pumpkins. They just sound so cool. And then I have blue Hubbard squash. These say 110 days to maturity, so I'm hoping for some of these. And then last year I picked up a pumpkin at some fall event, and it was like the biggest, meatiest pumpkin. I'm pretty sure it was a blue Hubbard, but it also tasted so amazing. So we saved seeds. We saved quite a bit of seeds from it, and we just called it the big meaty pumpkin. Lots of flesh, so we knew what kind of pumpkin it was. So we are definitely gonna plant some of these, and I have so many of these, so I want to try planting these a lot of places just to see what grows. I want to plant some in my front yard, my backyard. I'm also thinking along a fence line I have, so we're gonna see how these do. There's a look at all the seeds that I want to grow this fall. I know I'm not gonna grow them all, and I know there's a good chance a lot of things could fail, or there's even a chance all my plants could get taken out by a random, early frost. November 25th is early for us. I know some people get their frost so much earlier. but we are blessed with a long growing season. It's a blessing and a curse all at the same time. So thank you so much for joining me today for this video, a little talk through of what I want to do. These talk through videos really help me plan and put a little more thought than just going willy-dilly like I like to do. So giving me a minute to stop and slow down and think is actually really helpful. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I appreciate it, and I can't wait to hear what you guys are growing in your fall gardens.